Welcome to another segment of Tree Talk. I'm Jamie Dahl with Central State University Extension. I'm here with Marne Titchenell with Ohio State University Extension, and we've been talking a lot about oak ecosystems, and now we're going to talk about some of the other important species in the forest that provide resources for wildlife. Welcome to another segment of Tree Talk. I'm Jamie Dahl, and I'm here with Marne Titchenell with Ohio State University Extension, and we're going to be talking about the various resources in the forest that connect to wildlife beyond the oak ecosystem, which we've been focusing on earlier. So, hi, Marne.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit about I guess it seems important to start with what happens with oak mast and therefore why it's important to have a variety of resources.
Exactly. So, diversity is key. If we've learned nothing else as foresters and wildlife biologists, diversity is key, especially in light of invasive species and a lot of other threats to the forest these days. Diversity is key. And, so it's important to have those other food resources available. And I'll pop up a slide to show you specifically what goes on with oak acorn production. This is mass production from 2005 to 2017. And so what you have on the y-axis is that average percent of trees bearing acorns. And what I really just want you to notice here is that, how it goes up and down. The nature of oak production is cyclic. This is not unusual. This is just what it is out there. And in fact, a lot of our hard mast producing trees have this kind of cyclic production. So you see that dip in around 2011, it was, 15% of the trees were bearing acorns. Well, we've just talked about a lot of the wildlife species that depend on those resources. What are they going to do in those years? That's when they're going to turn to some of the other tree species in oak ecosystems that also bear fruit.
Okay, so that again, that diversity being really crucial.
Yes.
And of course, the cyclical nature, I see it, we just have through 2017, but we know, year to year, different species are just going to have more success than others. Another important thing for landowners, I think, is to get to know your forest, because sometimes individual trees, for various reasons, are better producers, and so that's something you want to think about when you're selecting what trees to leave behind, I think is important.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, right? If you know you have an oak out there that's producing well, leave it. That should be a tree that in your mind you flag as very important. Yeah,
at least until it grows some more, helps regenerate some new trees around it. And I know anecdotally it's important, we hear from you all, from landowners, what's happening out there, and I know some of what I've heard this year and seen myself, that white oaks did not seem to do as well. I was actually talking with a grad student researching white oak, and she was having great difficulty getting white oak mast to research from multiple states here in the Northeast. And then it was a really good year for beech, interestingly. So one of those alternate masts, and I don't know if anyone else noticed that, you may have only found the little husks because the nuts are valuable and get eaten up quickly, but there was a fair bit of beech mast out there. So just it varies year to year, and you got to look down and see what's happening.
And the wildlife are always looking down, right? So they know where to go. But one other species I want to talk about that can be quite prevalent in oak ecosystems would be hickories.
Okay, wonderful.
And so interesting little fun fact about hickory nuts is that they have a higher energy content per gram of dry weight than acorns. So basically what that means is you're getting a lot of energy with less weight. So for something like our birds, or I'll pop up a picture, this little guy, which is our southern flying squirrel. It's very important, and you know, for any of our squirrels that spend their lives, you know, running up and down trees, it's good to have more energy and less weight, right? So I love this picture of a little flying squirrel. It's actually gliding with a hickory nut in its jaws.
Very cool.
So yeah, one of our very abundant squirrels that we have here in Ohio.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about hard mast, but there's a lot of soft mast, you know, the fleshy fruits and berries within our oak ecosystems as well. And so I'll just pop up some pictures of some examples of some soft mast that we find within our forests. So some black cherries, the hollies, which are wonderful for a lot of our animals that are active during the winter. They're hanging around on the branches and provide some food. Viburnum is in that upper right corner. And then, of course, one of our largest fruits is the pawpaw. And it's always a race between you and the raccoons and deer who gets it first, right? And then in that lower left picture, that is Virginia creeper. So some of our forest vines provide some really valuable resources. Even poison ivy, which is fun to tell people. We don't like it, but the birds love the white berries that come on towards the end of the year.
Okay. So again, that variety is important.
And very, yeah.
And of course, for private landowners, which we have a fair bit of in our viewership, thinking about this as you make management decisions on your property, because you do want to promote a variety of different food resources and habitat resources for wildlife.
And it depends on your management objectives. Just like you said, you know, if you're a hunter and you're looking for deer, you're looking for turkey or squirrel, then you're really going to want to focus on some of those hard mast species and promoting that. But you know, if you're a birder and you're interested in birds, then those fleshy berries are really going to bring the birds in and attract those types of species.
Now speaking on that note, so there are some invasive plants that provide lots of fleshy fruits. How do wildlife utilize that as a resource?
They utilize it well. So let's just talk about one, honeysuckle.
Okay.
That plant is doing everything it can to attract birds. And I'll pop up a slide real quick here. These are two birds that will readily consume honeysuckle berries, and a lot of our songbirds do. So we have, of course, our state bird, the cardinal there, and the cedar waxwing up on the top. Unfortunately, these berries are not as nutritious. The birds don't realize that, so it's our job to get the nasty plants out of there.
Okay.
And you know, we know that they're eating a lot because there's been some evidence of color changes in the feathers.
Wow.
So we've seen evidence of cardinals changing their color a little bit if they're consuming a lot of the honeysuckle berries. And then what you're seeing down there, that is the tail feather tips of a cedar waxwing. They're normally yellow, but when they eat a lot of honeysuckle berries, they start to turn that orange color. Yeah, it's fascinating. So, and with the cardinals, it can actually cause an issue because one of the things that female cardinals look for to determine if the male is of standard to choose as her mate is that bright red color. So yeah, if they're bright red because of eating honeysuckle berries, then they're not really surviving on a nutritional diet.
Wow.
So yeah, some challenges out there.
Always. Yeah. So well, Marne, as we kind of are wrapping up here, are there any resources that you would like to share?
Yes, definitely. So I'm popping up a fact sheet here if you want to learn more about different types of mast in Ohio. And then you can find that at our website, woodlandstewards.osu.edu. Woodland Stewards is our private woodland owner program. Really, anybody that's interested in forestry and wildlife, take a look at our website. We offer classes around the state, and hopefully you can join us at some of those classes.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Marne. I think we also have your contact information that will flash up there quickly.
There's my contact information.
So, and thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll have you on Tree Talk again.
Love to be here again.
All
Thanks.
right.